Gamecast from MSN.
Hi and welcome to the final Gamescast of 2008. You're listening to Jane Douglas, one of your Tech and Gadgets editors here on MSN, and also Nick Taylor.
Hello.
And Ian Lee, your host.
Yes.
And after the show, if you want to say anything to us, then come over to tech.uk.msn.com and click on the message board.
Well, we're all quaffing champagne today, of course, and eating mince pies covered in caviar because it's Christmas nearly, may have just happened, maybe happening. It depends when they're listening as to when Christmas is in relation to this. But it's, for us, Christmas is imminent. Let's start as we always start. Well, Jane, what have you been playing this month, or have you been too busy doing the Christmas shopping?
No Christmas. Well, not much Christmas shopping yet. I've been playing Mirror's Edge, Prince of Persia. I just finished Prince of Persia.
Well, you finished.
Yeah,
okay, right.
and Mirror's Edge. Yeah,
you
I'm a completionist.
Okay, Mirror's
month.
Edge. Is it obviously you liked it? Is it any good?
I liked it. I thought the reviews were overly harsh,
Right.
almost across the board. In fact, I think it was fresh and it did something different, and I don't think it got enough credit for
What
that.
did it do that was different?
You remember it's the
It's the
FPS,
free running thing, isn't it?
platform
Yeah,
thing. Well,
it made me feel a little bit
FPS,
queasy watching the
Yeah,
demo.
some people got that kind of motion sickness.
Yeah.
I didn't myself, and I don't know anyone else who did. But
Wasn't
it's
digging me there,
first-person platforming game, and it just looks nice and polished and crisp, and it's kind of really nice and bright, and the colours pop, and it's got a female protagonist, which is always nice for me.
Yes.
And yeah, it had its problems, and it was quite short, which is why I completed it, I suppose.
I'm finding a lot of games are short now. They look stunning and they look very rich and fantastic. It's like I found Call of Duty 4 and 2 actually, 2 in particular, not as big and sprawling as I was expecting it to be. I think that's a common problem.
I think 4 recovered from that way with the multiplayer. I mean,
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So,
You're Mirror's Edge, big fan.
I'd say go and get it if you haven't got it.
Are you one of these people that I read so much about and I've never been? That when you complete a game,
Yes.
you go, I'm going to play that again, but on a harder setting.
No,
You do that?
no, I know plenty of
It's
that
weird,
do.
isn't
Gears
it?
of War. You know, I have friends who finished it on, was it insane setting?
Yeah, up at the top. Yeah,
Outrageous difficulty levels. No, I don't need to do that.
Hang on, Nick, are you one of those people that's done that, that's completed it and then gone, let's rack it up a little bit more and have another go?
possibly.
Why? Well, you've played it. All it is there are more people with more guns firing
Achievement
quicker.
points, right?
No, I'm not. I'm not an achievement
wriggling his
geek.
seat like a little
He's
boy. I love
embarrassed.
it.
I'm not an achievement geek. It's just so some games that you love them so much that you just want to go through it again
But
and
that's
just
what the
ratchet it
multiplayer is
up a bit.
for, surely.
Yeah, true. But I did do it with Gears. I just
Right.
sort of took it up another level because there's sections that you want to do again. Like in Gears, it's when the Berserker comes. The first one I'm talking about, when the Berserker comes rolling at you, and it's like, oh yeah.
Is that, no, I'm just playing
that
Gears
up
of
a
War
level.
1 for the first time. Is
Yeah.
that the bit when you're sort of indoors and you have to run outside to drag it?
Yeah, and you got to run around like columns.
And that's one of the
stuff to-
highlights
to
of the game,
avoid
is
him.
it?
You're not loving that. no?
I've just done that bit, and it was like, well, that was quite straightforward. You just
Well-
run, stop, fire that laser gun at it, then run a bit more, and then it's dead, and then...
There's have you been on the bit where you're driving through a big swarm of krill yet?
I've not been on that bit. No.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
enjoying
that'll
the
test you.
game. I'm enjoying the game, definitely, don't worry. But all right,
Good,
okay, so
good.
what have you been playing this month, then?
All sorts. Gears 2, still playing Fallout 3.
Is Gears 2, now, is that as good as you're expecting? Because, again, I've read a couple of reviews that said, well,
Yeah.
doesn't really take it any further.
Yeah, it doesn't really. It just makes everything sort of bigger and bigger and better, really.
Yeah.
But really, they're loving the storyline this time.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's what they really focus on. So I don't know. Has it got the real big sort of surprise of the first one? I'm not so sure.
And apparently the multiplayer isn't... There's something lacking with that, is that right?
Well, I love the multiplayer. I love
Okay.
Horde. Horde is brilliant
Yeah.
fun. Especially if you've got like a gang of your mates, because you can all team up as 5 of you
Yeah.
to play that together.
Okay.
So that's really cool.
What else have you been playing then, sorry? You have a
Well-
whole list of them.
Oh yeah, I've taken it to the other extreme. I've just started playing Banjo Kazooie, Nuts and Bolts.
Well done, yeah, good
yeah,
work.
and that's just going really retro. It feels so retro playing that because it's like playing a really fun old school game when games weren't all about shooting people a lot, but they were actually quite funny.
Oh, you are harking back to a more innocent, naive time.
A bygone era, yes.
Now, I've not been playing many games this month because I've gone off them a little bit. I feel a fraud being in here, but I think my toe is gradually getting dipped back in the water. I've been on a long flight. I was in Hawaii, and I don't want to show off or anything, but I was. And I've been playing. I took my DS for the first time. I took my DS on a flight. I've been playing Advance Wars.
Oh, awesome! Yeah.
What a fantastic! Again, retro, old school, turn-based action. The combat game. Just fantastic, and it's great having the DS, but just it's on that tiny little screen at the top, and you're doing that. So I've been playing that, and in the last week, I have discovered what the iPhone was made for playing Uno. you can download Uno for £5, and you can play it, and you can link up with my girlfriend's got an iPhone, so it's terrible. We sit in bed on our iPhones playing Uno against each other, and you can go online and play other people. I am currently, let me get this right, I think I am the 302nd best iPhone Uno player in the world, ladies and gentlemen.
Respect.
Well, that's almost worthy of a round of applause, that, isn't it?
But
Almost.
not quite, it would seem there. Oh, now listen, one thing I wanted to mention before we dive into the main thrust of this show today. The Xbox Live dashboard update has happened. I didn't go to it for a week. I went to it. It scared the pants off of me. It was strange. It was alien. It was completely unfamiliar. I spent far too long designing my avatar, which does look remarkably like me. It's very cute. But I think it will grow on me. But the fact is, it's just so different that I got a bit lost. I'm assuming you've had a go on it. Nick.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
Well, it is very different. It is definitely, and obviously you've got the whole avatar thing in there. But the thing that I really like about it is nothing to do with that. It's just that you can download your games onto your hard drive now, and I love that feature.
Why? What? Hang on. What? The games from the disc? But why would you want to do that? I have them on disc.
Well, arguably,
What are you saving? Like 3 seconds?
quicker loading times.
Oh,
but
man, how-
no, the thing is, mine. I've got a fairly aged Xbox,
Right.
and it doesn't cope very well with certain games. Fallout 3 being one example,
okay.
and keeps popping up if I play it off the disc error. Like I get these disc errors come up a lot,
Yeah.
and this has transformed that. Don't
And
have
you
to
get
worry
quieter
about that
running
anymore.
as well, right?
You do get that too. Yeah, that's a good point.
But whoa, hang on, whoa. But how noisy is an Xbox?
Mine is pretty noisy actually. I suppose it depends where you place it in a room.
But I have the telly nice and loud, so I don't. That drowns out the droning noise.
Fair enough.
I'm okay. Well, have you seen the Xbox Live
Yeah,
dashboard?
yeah.
Are you a fan?
I like it.
I think it will grow on me. I'm not. I don't want to be
will,
completely
it will.
negative. It's just it was such a. Oh, hang on a second.
Well, it's got that kind of little. What would you call it? If you hit the action button, in the centre of the
Yes.
control, you get the kind of old Blades style menu system up.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? And that looks a lot like the old dashboard.
Yes.
So it's kind of a hybrid. If you're missing the old one.
Yep, it's a shame. I think it would be nice if they gave you the option to kind of retain the old one. I think
yes.
the fact that it's been a complete, you must have this. You have no choice in this matter. I think maybe I don't like being forced to do things, but it's just a bit scary. And you can see what games your friends have got and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a bit. I don't know. It's a bit Big Brother. I'm scared. It scares me.
It's the future.
It is the future. What do you want to do? Do you want to do Nick's stuff first, or do you want to do? We've got these games that are being released. Should we do the games that are being released in 2009? Have a quick
Yeah,
look
well,
at.
this was in
have a look at
response
these.
to someone on the message board. Who was it? Alley Cat on the message board said, I haven't heard much about what games will be coming out in 2009 besides Resi 5 and Alpha Protocol. Maybe you could do a segment on that. And so we've got a bunch of 2009 releases.
Resident Evil 5 March. It's finally coming out because I saw this maybe like 18 months ago. I did a presentation for Capcom and they were saying, well, it's coming out soon. It's coming out PS3. Is it not coming out on the Wii at all?
No, well, not yet. It's not scheduled for a release simultaneously through the Wii.
Well, it's history
Like Resi
of
4.
Nintendo, of course, isn't it? It's Resi, isn't it?
Resi 4 came
Resi
out on the
4
Wii.
out
but,
on the
yeah.
GameCube or the Wii.
There was a
Resi 4
Wii
was on
version
the
as
Wii.
well.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
But okay, so it's coming out on the 360.
And PS3.
Looks very exciting. Looks good.
Oh, yes.
I'm up for a bit of that.
Yes.
Is it? My fear is that it's been so long in development. You know, when a game has been so long and they keep putting back the release date. It's like with films; they keep putting back the release date, and then it comes out. It's not quite as good as you're expecting it to be.
It's a risk.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be brilliant.
Oh, you're gritty.
Bless.
Nick is full of the Christmas spirit.
I am.
You're wearing a Christmas jumper. You've had your hair cut like a schoolboy. You're looking, kind of cute for all the ladies out there listening, and you're just bouncing around in your seat full of excitement. I love it.
That's my excited game for this month. I like to get excited about one, and that's miles away. Though,
and
isn't it?
there's going to be online features for that as well. I think there's a co-op play in there.
Yeah.
Isn't there, I think.
It's all about the co-op. Yeah.
Well, Nicholas, I will quite happily. If you're going to get it for 360, yeah.
Yeah.
I will happily join you for a little bit of co-op play. Since
Bring it on.
We never got round your house for.
Should do a bit of Gears 2 co-op.
Gears
I haven't got Gears 2. I'm still on Gears. I'm
Invest.
still on Gears 1. Should I? All right. Well, okay. We should compare a list of games and have a bit of a co-op session going.
Or you can get Rock Band. You can play that online now as well.
Well, now I've just noticed that there is a. Where is the message here from Axion? Please stop talking about Rock Band and Guitar Hero, you evil people. I wish I had £80 to spend on a game. I got Guitar Hero World Tour, the full kit, like drums and everything. I've not. What's that face for, Jay? Why?
No, nothing. Just this guy's like, please, I can't afford it. Please, guys, don't talk about it. And Ian's about to tell us
I'm
how
about
he
to
got
show
it
off
for
a little.
free.
No, I wasn't going to mention the free. I was going to keep it real and pretend I bought it. But
let
yes,
slip.
I got sent it for free. But it means we can't link up and play, man.
No, we're having these format issues, I think, aren't we?
What else is? Whoa, hang on a minute. I'm looking at a game that's been Halo Wars.
Halo Wars, yes.
What's this?
It's a real-time strategy game based on Halo.
You mentioned this, yes. It sounds tedious, to be honest.
Wow. We looked at some footage, didn't we, around the time V3?
I think if you like Advance Wars, you might be into it.
Really?
Yeah. It's it depends how in depth it goes, but the demo that I had to go on at E3 was quite simple in operation and everything. You know, like Advance Wars is. You don't have to get too bogged down in all stats and stuff like that. So
That's the great thing about Advance Wars is you have a vague understanding of what everything can do, but it's pretty much point and click and blow things up, which is okay.
And that's out at the end of February on the Xbox 360. If anyone wants to know,
Street Fighter 4. I thought that was out already.
in Japan.
Oh, I've played that.
In Japan?
No.
No?
Again, it's another Capcom deal. But yes,
well.
I bet. It's good. I don't really get the Street Fighter. I think it was good back in the day, you know, when it was like something new and innovative. And I think with 4, they've kind of retained that old school feel of it, you know. So the fans of the game won't be too upset by it. But I don't know if it's. Do we need it in the 21st century?
It's got a lot of competition now.
Yeah, I just don't think it adds anything. You know, and the combos and I don't think we need it anymore. But I know, hey, that's heresy, and a lot of people out there will be going, of course we need it, for goodness sakes. It's one of the greatest games of all time. But it looks fantastic. I'm sure that the fans of it will love it. That's on the 20th of February. That's coming out. What else from this list is exciting you two? Anything?
Let me see. Star Wars: The Old Republic may not even be out next year, but we were told on the forum for not having mentioned enough PC games, and that's going to be a PC game.
Well done. Yes, no, correct.
Sorry,
we should
I can't find the username. Build-A-Bear says, I think the podcasts are great, but you don't seem to talk about PC games that much. Since I got my new PC, I haven't been playing any consoles, and I'd like to hear about new releases for the new year. So there's The Sims 3 in 20th of February. There's Star Wars: The Old Republic whenever that comes out. Diablo 3 and StarCraft 2. But they're probably a way off. They're not even confirmed release dates.
The Star Wars one scares me, actually, because it might get me into...
MMOs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So hang on. So but this
I like
is
Star Wars.
this is a role-playing...
It's like Warcraft, but with
but
Star Wars.
So now, I'm not a fan of Star Wars the films, I've said before, but I do quite like Star Wars games. I think there's a few really good Star Wars games, and that might be... Maybe I'll see you online there. We'll meet up.
We'll probably get a different version or something.
Yes, I'll be playing it on a Mac or something. If it's maybe it's not coming
It
out.
might
We
be out
don't
on Mac,
quite know
not
yet. Final Fantasy, what's that? 10, 11, 12, 13.
13.
Oh, why bother?
Looks beautiful.
They do. They look stunning. And you know, for a while you play them, and it's like, wow, this is this immersive, rich environment that I can do anything. It's free roaming. Oh, it's just a really, really dull, old-fashioned Japanese-styly turn-based game that isn't any fun and is quite...
I like it. Do you watch Zero Punctuation at The Escapist? Do you know the one I mean? It's a video sort of animated-based games review.
Yes.
So he was talking about Final Fantasy 13, and I thought it was quite amusing. He said for the first time it's a female protagonist rather than a male protagonist that just looks like a girl. and I wanted to bring that up because I also wanted to name drop the real Woj. the real Wogue. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong.
Well, he's going to be upset. He's upset that we've not mentioned
And
it
now
before.
I'm
He'll be upset
pronouncing
you've got
his name wrong.
wrong.
I'm very sorry. But off the back of the last podcast, he said, I'm saddened that neither one of you took note of my plea for Samus from Metroid to get a mention in the iconic games character countdown. Because we were talking about iconic games characters. Yes. And I think on the topic of female characters, we failed to mention Samus. And he says, I find this an injustice. And I would like to apologise for that injustice, because I'm actually also quite gutted that we didn't get a mention for Samus Aran in the podcast. So that's my apology. And also, I think Ian's point was, though, that there aren't enough strong female protagonists.
Oh, yes.
And I think that's a fair point.
Yes, I wasn't
Samus.
criticism of the way. I know. I think that there should be more. Or at least the option to have one or t'other.
Yeah, that's exactly. I did actually respond to the guy on the forums, and I said, whenever I get an RPG that allows you to play a female or a male, I'm always playing a female.
It does seem silly that
more
games don't allow that option, because that's not going to take up like 1K of memory or something, isn't it? To give the character...
except unless you've written a story around that male character.
But are there that many? I mean, even Gears of War could potentially be a woman, couldn't it? There's unless there's a part in the story where he has a kid, or I don't know. Women have children, don't they? I think these days. I think they're allowed to. So there's not that many stories where it specifically has to be a fella.
Perhaps not.
How did it work with the Fallout? Because you could be a female character.
Yeah, you could, but I mean, there was no
Did the
sort of
storyline work all right?
Yeah, because there's no sort of romantic subplot, so they don't even have to rewrite it for that. I think it's they just get the voice actors to say he and she when they record their lines, and that's pretty much it. So, yeah.
Cool.
Now, Alpha Protocol. I've never heard of it, but the name's got me a little bit excited. I don't know why. It means nothing to me. What's that going to be? It's
an action RPG based on spies, I think.
Spies, you say?
Spying action RPG.
And that's PC, PS3, Xbox 360
out in the first quarter of 2009. It was in Edge the other month, and I think it looks quite good, actually.
I have on my Christmas list, and I'm hoping that Father Christmas is listening, a year's subscription to Edge. So Edge is brilliant. I don't get it enough. I kind of get it if I'm, in Smiths, but I should read it more instead of just reading Retro Gamer that I read all the time. Anything else? What are these? Mad World and The Conduit, both for the Wii.
Mad World looks mental, basically. It's Sin City style, basically, all black and white, except the only colour that is in it is the red of the blood that is everywhere in the game. Because he
describes it well, doesn't he?
That is viciously violent. It just looks ridiculous. You can you're cutting people in half.
In the old days, Nintendo were very strict about the violence that they could have in their consoles,
is it.
and now it's like bring it on.
It's a bit of an antidote to all the Christmas Wii Music style High School Musical
games.
Yeah,
couldn't
for
be any
anyone
more
who has
different.
a Wii and wants something a bit more grown up, come next year.
For the advert on the television for Wii Music, we kind of looked at the trailer for it, didn't we? And said,
we were playing with it the other week.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it any good? Because the advert just makes you think, I don't want that. It looks awful.
It's good if you're 7.
It's that
I'm a little
annoying
older than
Nintendo
that.
music, which is great when you're playing Super Mario Brothers or something like that. But when you're playing, you compare it to Rock Band and Guitar Hero, which is obviously fantastic music. That annoying, and the advert's that guy playing the drums and the Redknapp's playing the flute or whatever. And it's just like, oh, for goodness sakes! It's what, fun for 20 minutes and then 10 minutes.
It's fun watching your friends look like idiots, but what you're actually doing on the screen, is that fun? I don't know, really. It sort of passes the time.
There. Yeah. Nintendo have missed a trick. They really should. They could do a brilliant music game, And but anyway, sorry. So Mad World looks good and violent.
Well, time will tell whether it looks good. It certainly looks violent, and it's. I just think everything's going to go mental when it comes out, because the conservative newspapers are going to hate it.
Yeah,
and
well, that's good. We've not had a good Daily Mail Ferrari. This game is sick filth and must be banned. This good when that happens.
Yeah,
it will happen for that, definitely.
Okay. The Conduit, do we know anything about that?
It's an FPS for the Wii. Another kind of grown-up game for the Wii.
Yeah,
can only be good.
Oh, Assassin's Creed 2, 2010.
Yeah, I put that one in.
That's keen.
It's not even out next year, but I was quite excited.
I enjoyed Assassin's Creed for like the first 5 hours, and then when I thought I was getting near the end, and it said, right, you've got to do all that, but like for another 20 times. Oh, more climbing up towers, looking out, pretending to be a student or a scholar or whatever. It's just, it didn't evolve enough for me, that game. It was the same thing over and over again with very little variation, which kept me going for 5 hours, which is pretty good gaming time. But after that, I wanted a little bit more.
I saw a cool rumour about the sequel, though, which is that it could be set in France at the time of the Revolution, and that would be pretty smart.
Why would that be cool? Are you a fan? Is that a favourite historical
time for you? Yeah, what a cool era to play through.
That would be quite exciting.
You're running around and the guillotine's going off all over the place. And
I'm with Nick. I think it sounds good.
When you put it like that, it don't sound bad, does it? You're in a violent mood today, Nick, aren't you?
Well, yeah.
It's the grim and gory. So the part of you, the 12-year-old Christmas boy, and then it's this nasty off with their heads.
I guess I haven't been doing enough shooting lately.
No, you need to do. Yeah, I'm. My time, as I said in the column, I've gone off games. My time away is I'm kind of getting itchy fingers, and I'm deliberately not going back to the Xbox or the PS3 or whatever for a while. I want it. I'm hopefully getting what's the new Tom Clancy End Wars?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
I'm getting End Wars, and there's another game I've put on my list for Father Christmas. Oh, Left 4 Dead. Although I've heard it's not actually that good now.
It is good. It's short,
right?
But it's about multiplayer co-op, so
yeah.
that's replayability for you.
I'm looking forward to that.
Which is good stuff.
Anything else on that list that we should point out? I think we've done it all.
Grand Theft Auto 4 downloadable content, February 17th on the Xbox.
Okay, well done. Now, Nick, you sent us a long list of things. Should we just go through this list and see what we have and what we don't have?
Yeah, just ideas.
The first thing you mentioned was old games that they should remake. Now, I've said this before, and I do not know why this has never happened. I do know. I think there's legal disputes. Elite. Yeah. Surely, if it's doesn't come out on a PC or a Mac, it's crying out to be put on a console, massively multiplayer. It was huge, when it came out. I think there's something like 10,000 different planets in it on a BBC Micro with 32K. You put that on Xbox Live, make it online. Everyone has. It will just be fantastic, excellent. I can't think of one really strong game where you're flying around in space shooting stuff that's current. That's current.
Multiplayer, you mean, or?
Well, I can't think of.
There's an MMO called Jumpgate coming out, and that's vaguely similar.
Okay.
You're piloting, you're jumping.
The thing about Elite is there's a nice little bit of trading. Do you trade narcotics and slaves, which makes you illegal and morally bad, of course, kids, but makes you a lot of money. And then that affects you become a pirate, and then you get chased by the police. There's all these. It's such an advanced game for its time. When was it? 1984 or something ridiculous like that. But so Jumpgate
Evolution. I don't know. It might be your kind of
But
thing.
is there a good space? I'm obviously missing something. So there must be a good space flying around.
There
shooting
is another
people.
one. I'm racking my brain for the name of it.
I remember Colony Wars. That was on the PS1. That was probably 12, 13 years ago. That was kind of quite. Obviously, wasn't online, but that was kind of quite good. I remember downloading the Battlestar Galactica game.
Oh yeah.
Dear me.
A bit of a disappointment.
What a load of tosh that was. If anyone knows, I must be missing something. There must be, on the 360 or the PS3, there must be a brilliant online space flying around shooting things game that has just passed me by. So please, put it on the forum. Call me an idiot for not knowing it, but I must know what this is.
So I just wonder about Elite, whether the real beauty of it was its simplicity.
Yeah.
Because they definitely could bring it forward and sort of tart it all up and everything, but it was just that sort of the bare bones nature of it.
It was nice, the kind of vector graphics. They did update it on like the C64 and the NES, and there was a PC version actually. And as soon as you start filling it in and making it look better, it kind of loses something. But it is, I do think it would work. For goodness sakes, just release it for us. And another game, this is proper old school, and this deserves. Does anyone remember Horace Goes Skiing?
Yeah.
No, sorry.
I didn't think you would. I wouldn't suggest. Horace Goes Skiing was on the Spectrum and was a brilliant game where it was kind of like a cross between Frogger to start with, where you had to get across the road. Horace is like this weird. I don't know what Horace is. This weird sort of monster type thing. He was
just a blob.
He was a blob, wasn't he? And so the first bit, he had to cross the road to get his skis. Then he had to go back. And then you had to like a little slalom skiing game, which I think was one of the first games that had because in the old days you got a game and it did one thing. It was like Frogger. It was a skiing, But this was the first thing to have kind of two games welded together. Horace is due for a revival, isn't he? He's a gaming hero, There's got to be something there.
Forgotten. Did Horace ever go anywhere else?
There was Horace and the Spiders.
Oh, yeah.
Where there was some... I don't remember what happened. There was some spiders. I think there was a Horace that was a rip-off of Pac-Man as well. In the old days, you could rip games off. There were loads of Pac-Man rip-offs. I think there was one called Snapper on the BBC. There was Scarfman as well somewhere. But I think there's one... I think there may have been 3, maybe 4 Horace games. He's due a
definitely, yeah, bring back Horace.
Even on the download content. Nick, anything that you think that they should remake?
Well, while we're really retro, how about Manic Miner?
Oh, man, yeah, of course they should.
Of
course they should.
Yeah,
remake Manic Miner. Was such a frustrating game because you had to be pixel perfect on your jumps. There was no kind of leeway. You had to get it bang on. That was a mad...
I'd like that, like a fully modern version of Manic Miner, like with the original, like on the disc as well, so you could like switch.
Yeah, it makes sense. In the way that Prince of Persia has been updated, kind of a similar sort of game originally. And Prince of Persia has now gone on to spawn dozens of sequels and remakes, and they're all pretty good, I think, aren't they? Sands of Time was
good, and I like the reboot. The other two are a matter of taste. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Jane, we're a couple of old men talking at a bar here about what it was like.
My brain's trying to think of a retro game that I want remade.
The war. It doesn't have to be that retro. I think we're kind of harking on to the days of rationing.
But the thing is, I was thinking of Commodore 64 games, and I think they all work in their own special place in time, and I don't know if I want them to be dragged into the 21st century.
Impossible Mission got redone for the PSP, and it's very nice, reskinned, and looks lovely, and plays lovely, and is a good platformer that I think adds stuff to it. I was trying to think of more recent games, but from sort of the PS1, the Colony Wars would be a good. That was a fantastic game. The second one wasn't so good, but the first one was great, flying around in space, shooting stuff, blowing things up.
PS1 games, I think we talked about it before, Destruction Derby. They can go back and make Destruction Derby.
Make that online, because that's awesome. Crying out to be online in a massive, kind of urban environment. Put that in a city, Destruction Derby, bam, you're sorted, aren't you? I'd have some of that.
That'd be great.
All right, well, Christmas is coming up for us. It may be... If you're listening to this on Christmas Day, I feel a little bit sad. Maybe this is the highlight of someone's Christmas Day. Well, in that case, thank you. And you mentioned as well, Nick, in your email, kind of those party games. Do you remember a couple of years ago? It was about a couple of years ago. Those DVD games were the big kind of thing, and they were quite good fun. I remember buying Who Wants to Be a Millionaire for my mum, and she loved it, and we had a great Christmas playing that. And there was one we got, I think, 2 years ago that was some pop quiz type thing, and they were kind of fun. But they have been put by the wayside, I think, by things like SingStar and I got Lips.
Lips
is kind of quite good fun. Yeah, it is kind of good fun. There are kind of a couple of flaws. The main flaw is you can't really hear yourself through the telly.
No, it's very quiet, isn't it?
It is really quiet, isn't it? And I was very disappointed by that. We were singing, with my girlfriend, we were having a little duet on Beyonce's, what's the song? To the Left, we were doing
yeah.
And I think we had a bit of Rihanna as well going on. But you can't really hear yourself.
No, it might be a mercy, though. I don't know, for certain singers.
No, in our house, we're both very, very good singers. We can do the R and the B styling very, very easy. Good fun, but I felt the competitive edge wasn't quite there as well. I think it needs more of an edge. The downside, you can't hear yourself. That's what you want from one of those things. And why the cordless mics are cool and it's good fun.
They look good, don't they, with the LEDs on them?
Yeah, they do look very good. And the fact that you've got the... you can have the original videos as well. That was kind of a cool... So then it does almost become a karaoke type affair. But, it was lacking that. I've not played SingStar. Is that
I don't know SingStar that well either. I think I've tried it once, so I couldn't really make a fair comparison.
I'm on the mailing list for SingStar, so I keep getting sent SingStar ABBA, SingStar R&B, SingStar Boy Band, SingStar High School Musical 3, and I've never played them. So I don't quite know what you a fan of the old SingStar, or...?
The only singing I've ever done in a game is Rock Band. I'm not allowed to talk about.
Axion.
I've never done real life karaoke. In fact, anywhere. So
What, not in the pub? You never done karaoke?
No. I've
Really?
I've always managed to avoid it. Yeah.
Man, it's terrible. It's terrible, but fun at the same time. You know, it's hideous.
Yeah.
And brilliant.
Maybe I've just never been drunk enough. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's it. You do need to be. I bet you're a bit of a warbler, aren't you, Jane?
I'm really not, actually.
Oh.
Lips is the first proper bit of kind of game singing I've done. And, I don't think I've ever done any proper karaoke. You know, in a karaoke bar / pub, that wasn't in someone's own house.
Another problem with the dashboard.
Right.
Everyone can see I've been playing Lips. I was getting, so it's got like Gears of War, Rainbow Six, Lips. And I got so much abuse from, my online friends saying, what you doing? Oh, it's my girlfriend. She's singing. I'm not playing it.
It's research.
I got another game I've got which I've not played yet, but it looks like you're in the movies. Is that?
Oh yeah.
Is that the thing? I said something. I'm saying you're in. I'm saying you are in the movies. The camera and it's kind of. What was the thing on the PlayStation?
It's like the iToy, right?
The iToy. It's a kind of a similar thing, but it's supposedly scenes in a movie. So it's like you have punching a punch bag like in a Rocky type affair. And then at the end of the game, it links them all together to make a movie. I guess that's its USP, is that it does that. It looks like quite good fun. I never got into the iToy. I never really had a go on it, but this looks like it might be quite good fun and worth having a bash at.
We had a review unit, and I think we gave it to our movies editor because we thought he was in a good position to give us an opinion on that. But we haven't heard back from him yet.
He's too busy punching a punch bag in his living room.
I guess so. Yeah. I've seen it being played. It's another one that I think really is for kids.
Well, I should be playing it over Christmas, so I will let you know what it's like. Any other? Seen It. I'm a big fan of Seen It.
Oh yeah, I've been playing that.
Yeah, with the doinkers, with the buzzer buttons. So, yeah, it's good. It's good, but you want to. I'm a bit geeky about films and stuff like that, so I win pretty much. Really, that's not online, is it? That would be good if that was.
It would actually. I don't
online playable. Any others that are around? I mean, there's the Guitar Heroes in the world, but rock bands we're not allowed to mention.
No, we can't talk about those.
No.
But
I'm getting the impression from you two, you're not a fan of these type of games. You're both giving it sort of like a real sort of.
Well, it's not that I don't like them. I just don't think my family would go for them, to be honest.
No, I liked Seeing It.
Yeah.
I think that's great, especially with the big paddles, like sort of hit the button type thing. It's a nice way to sit around playing a game, and I can play my girlfriend at it, and she doesn't mind losing apparently on Seeing It. Whereas normally she gets quite grumpy when I beat her at stuff.
I know what you mean. Now, okay, listen, another thing you mentioned was annoying features in games. Now, this is because of Fallout 3, which I've not played. There's a thing where you can tidy up your home.
Oh, I hate this. They put it in every single game ever, where you have to customise something. You either have to make your character look nice and give him a tattoo and a silly haircut, or you've got to you get a house like you do in Fallout, and you have to go and buy a chest of drawers for it or something like that, or a nice painting. And Jane's laughing because she loves this stuff.
I like this stuff.
Why do you like it? It doesn't add anything to the game, does it?
I think avatar customization does. I think that connects you to your character. I think it invests you in it. I'm not such a big fan of the player housing. Like you mentioned, although it didn't get on my nerves that much. Things were too expensive. It was just a money sink, I think, for all that money you had.
You actually have to go around to a shop and buy paintings.
You buy like a theme for your house, and then you come back to your house and it's decorated in that theme.
And does that in any way affect the gameplay?
Yeah, I think it doesn't. It. Some of the furniture gives you you can buy a theme and it's got, I don't know. You come back to your house and there's like bottles of alcohol. I did this, and then there were bottles of alcohol, and you could use them.
For what?
For it gives you a bonus to your strength stat and stuff like that.
But really, and how long does this take doing all of this?
Well, you have to buy it, so you have to make the money to do it. You could get like a workbench installed in your house, and then you could use that workbench to customise weapons. So it did have a point, but not much of one.
There's in Little Big Planet, you get to design your box. You live in like a box in space, and you get to sort of design that. And I spent 20 minutes doing that. I just thought, why am I doing this? Surely I should be playing the excellent, tracks that they've got here. I'm muffing up this box, making it look like a mess. And I disagree with the avatar thing. I don't really care. Unless it's something like Rainbow Six where you can put yourself in it. And I'm surprised that hasn't taken off more. I'm surprised on the Xbox Live dashboard you can't make yourself a moving avatar.
I know why they did that.
Why?
Because if you could take your own photo
Yeah.
and put it up there, they've got no control over what kind of photo you put up there. I think there's a lot of measures in place to make sure there's nothing
Okay.
inappropriate that ends up there.
That's fair enough, but on Rainbow Six, it's very difficult to put something rude up there. It
Is that
kind of
so?
has to be a head shape. So
Okay.
you can... I've tried. Believe you me. So it's a shame they've not done that, because I think it can be policed by the way that it's done. But I don't care what my character looks like in a game. Nick, are you a fan of the avatar tarting up?
No, I couldn't give monkeys. Really, I'm the same. I just want to play the game, and it's just a symbol of all this other stuff that they attach onto games. And GTA has been the one that's really bugged me the most for it this year, and a really, really great game at its base, with loads and loads of just incidental rubbish attached to it, all over it. And GTA being bad because you actually have to do a lot of it.
You have to maintain your friendships for the game to progress, and you have to take
rubbish.
them to strip clubs and pull. It's a bit weird having a strip club in a game. Yes, it's funny for 10 minutes, and you think, well, hang on, but I don't know. It's it's a naughty game, and it's a naughty game. That's the description for it. But you think, well, I get the joke now, really. And you have to, take them to pool halls and things like that.
God, that wound
if
me
the
up.
games, if the spin-off games in inverted commas were good. Do you remember Shenmue on the Dreamcast, which was a groundbreaking game because it was all immersive and it was a console and it was this world that you could exist in real time, sort of. Now I found the game quite dull. I got to the end of disc 1 on that game, and I didn't save it. I completely didn't save it, and I just gave up then. I wasn't quite sucked in by the game, but you could go to arcade halls and play Space Harrier and Hang On, like the original versions of them, which was kind of cool having that, because it was just written by the same bloke, I think. That's why they were in there. So that was kind of cool. But maybe, again, this is one of those generalisations. If you disagree and if I'm being horribly sexist, then please come on the forum and tell me so. Maybe it is just a ladies' thing to be concerned about what your character looks like. And maybe
You're saying I'm that vain and superficial.
No,
that
not at all.
I have to
But maybe
even
it's
customise
because-
my characters.
Well, I don't
A
know.
little bit of
maybe.
lipstick, do
But
my
maybe
hair.
it is because, as you were saying earlier on, that there aren't more games where it's a girl playing
Maybe.
it. So
maybe
maybe
that's why,
maybe it
like,
is-
Mass Effect, Fallout 3, Fable 2, I'm like, great, I've got a female character.
Perhaps it is, because, I guess it must be kind of tedious, 30 years of video games, and it's all blokes. You're pretty much, for the majority of that time, you're controlling blokes.
I think it depends on what kind of player you are, because, if you just want to play the game and you don't really care about the plot or the characters, then it doesn't matter whether you're playing whether you identify with the hero or not. So I guess I do, and so it is important for me. And I like the customization, because it's a bit like being, in a really, crude way, it's a bit like getting to design an element of a game,
Yeah.
and I quite like that idea. I like with Little Big Planet, and you have more control over what you're actually playing, even if you're just reskinning the player
Go
character.
to the forums, please, and let us know if I'm hideously wrong. Now, Little Big Planet, I have been enjoying that. I've not had a go at designing any of the levels on there yet. Do we know if that's going to be one of those things where after 10 minutes I'm throwing the controller at the screen and going,
It's
stuff
really
this?
good. It feels good, but it's really involved. If you wanted to build a whole level from start to finish, it would actually be quite involved and take you
Right.
a fair amount of time. There's nothing wrong with the tools; they're really good.
Yeah.
But I suppose, if anything, it gives you an appreciation for the people who are actually
Right.
making these games and who built the levels, because you might have an amazing idea, but then you realise implementing it is actually going to take you a fair amount of time.
And do you start from scratch, or is it kind of a basic outline that you just add
You
bits
can
and pieces
edit levels
to?
that other people have made,
Right.
or you can start from scratch. And when you start from scratch, you can either build every obstacle from scratch, or you can start bringing in bits and pieces that you've kind of collected from other games. From other levels, that is.
Right,
You go
okay.
along and you collect bits,
Yeah.
and then those bits can be implemented
How
in your
easy
level.
is it to get a photograph in there? Because I noticed on the advert on the television, the gentleman has designed his own level, and there's a photograph of his family in there. Is that easily
Yeah,
doable?
yeah, you can. I mean,
'Cause that sounds like fun to me.
yeah, you can start using them as stickers and graffiti kind of around your level. I guess I'm not sure how it's done, because I haven't done that. Maybe you need the camera, the PS3 camera, possibly.
Okay,
Possibly.
there we go. I knew there was a flaw in the system somewhere. Jane, is there anything else in the forums that we have? Can I just say I'm surprised that people are being nice about me now in the forums. It's all kind. I'm used to
Mostly.
Oh, hang on.
Mostly.
Mostly, she says, folding. Have you got something that's not
Well,
festive
I'm just
season,
going
you see?
to read a few bits just to make sure everyone on the forums gets a bit of a shout
Yes,
out.
please do. Please do.
We've already heard from Axion, Ali Cat. Who else we got? Okay, Ali Cat says, when it comes down to it, Ian just doesn't like good old Solid Snake. Maybe he feels threatened by the big man. And T-Sky Blue, your number one fan, says Ian Lee would feel threatened by Sackboy,
Okay,
in fact.
yes,
so
yes.
not everyone's being nice.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
Okay, remember you were talking about Pokemon and you said no one over the age of 18
Yes.
would ever play it. You wanted to know if there was a guy playing Pokemon at age 18, says FF8 Fanatic. Well, here it is. And he does go into some detail, so I recommend going and having a look on the forum.
It's a long message. But he's 18. Will he be playing it when he's over 18?
Oh, he is actually 18.
He's actually 18. So but at the moment, my argument still stands. There is no men over the age of 18 playing Pokemon.
I think he says, in conclusion, I think although a childish game, anyone that had played the original Pokemon games as a child could always go back and have fun with it again, if only because of an emotional attachment, so for nostalgia
Okay,
reasons.
I
Fair
understand
enough.
that. My tongue is slightly in my cheek when I'm saying that. I understand that, but maybe I missed out on the original.
Okay,
yes.
I think we give a mention to Hazard106, who says, I must say Rock Band 2 is head and shoulders above Guitar Hero. Not only the song list is better, but you get another 20 free songs on release. All your original Rock Band 1 content will work, plus for a few Microsoft points you get most of the original songs. That's like 150 songs on day one. I did, however, buy the Guitar Hero drums. Very sweet piece of kit.
Oh, you see, that's how I'm tempted to... I'm going to save it for Christmas. I will have a go over Christmas. Do keep posting on the forums, whether it's abuse or positive comments, we like reading them all, so it's all good stuff. And if there's again, I keep saying, if there's anything you think we should be talking about that we haven't mentioned, any topics, anything you want to hear us discussing, any games that are coming out that we've missed, then, be part of it and tell us what we should be saying.
Yeah. Yeah, get involved. That's at tech.uk.msn.com, everyone.
Well, hey gang, thank you for this. A little bit tipsy on the champagne that we've had here. I don't normally drink this early, but thank you very much for that. Lovely Christmases, Nick. We've got we'll swap game list and we will find something that I can beat you at online. That's going to happen. Jane, you're not invited.
Fine.
Boys,
I'll just go and play with my dollies, with my virtual dollies, and customise my avatars. Anyway. Merry Christmas, everyone, and we'll see you in the new year, okay?
Thank you, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Gamecast from MSN.